having the high school choral festival. So I was one of the volunteers earlier. I was helping out, and then I went downstairs to practice, like the good music student I am. And while I was practicing, the alarms went off, so we all left the building. One of the students came up and he had a video on his phone of the sprinklers pouring out water just in this hallway out here. It was crazy. It was so much water.
I was the festival manager. I was managing all of the student volunteers. And so I was actually actively managing those student volunteers out in the lobby as the alarm went off. My manager went up to me and he told me to go run all of the floors, make sure everyone was out of the bathrooms and out of all practice rooms. So that was my job. As the fire alarm was going off, I was running up and down all 6 or so floors, making sure everyone was out and everyone was safe.
So I went back downstairs to practice, and a guy comes and grabs me and he goes, "Are you aware that it's like raining from the ceiling?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, where?" And we weren't really told like why it had happened. I don't think anyone knew why. Then when we were finally let in, we all kind of went to check the damage, and there was a lot of water on the first floor. We went into the band room and looked up, and there was water like pouring onto some of the drums. Luckily, it was also the day of the marching band competition, so most of our instruments were actually out. We went up and got all those drums out of the way, and we were like, well, where else is it raining? And I think that's when I went and grabbed McKenna. We went and checked like the music library and all these different rooms and realized that the flooding from the first floor was going on to basically all the floors below.
Could have been so much worse, especially if the band camp work going on. Imagine all of the instruments that could have gotten water in them and been completely damaged. Our pianos, we have so many of them. I want to say at least $500,000 worth. If they were to have been damaged beyond repair or warped, that would have been absolutely devastating for this building. Most of the damage was actually internal to the walls and to the floors and the ceilings. I don't know budget-wise what they're going to do to fix it or how much money they're allotting to fix it. There were rumors that someone might have thrown a shoe, that someone might have accidentally hit the sprinkler with a euphonium or with like a sousaphone. Those were all unfounded, untrue. In my discussion with the fire marshal and with the head of the School of Music, it turned out to just be a sprinkler malfunction because this is the older part of the building. As they were vacuuming up the water, I walked with the fire marshal around the building to show him the damage and to sort of talk about preventative measures. And they did an inspection of all of the other sprinklers as he was there. Obviously, we know it's somewhat working because water came out, just not at the right time.